Okay, call the meeting to order of the Northfield Township Downtown Development Authority. Wednesday, June 23rd, 2021. The Northfield Township DDA is meeting due to the state of emergency declared by the Washtenaw County Board of Commissioners. We will do a roll call and state your location. Start with Jenny Olney.
Present, 9315 Lakewood Court, Northfield Township, Washtenaw County.
Dana Forrester. I haven't heard from her. I don't know. Okay. Ann Iaquinto. I know you're here.
Sorry. I was trying to unmute this. My computer keeps blinking out of me, so if I go away, I'll be back. Northfield Township, Washtenaw County. Here.
Bridget Kassman. I haven't heard from Bridget. Matt Ritz is absent with notice. Ken Dignan.
Present, Northfield Township, Washtenaw County, Michigan.
Thank you. Jack Seacrest.
Present, Nala Road, Northfield Township, Washtenaw County.
Doug Wilbur.
He said he was going to be gone this week. I don't know whether he's going to get on Zoom or not.
Charter's a real bugger right now.
Okay. Kristen Hatfield.
Present, Hamburg Township, Livingston County, Michigan.
I think we have Cecilia Infante with us.
Present, Northfield Township, Washtenaw County.
And Bart Griffith, present, Northfield Township, Washtenaw County, Michigan. I didn't forget anybody, did I?
Dana's on.
Dana's on now? Okay, Dana, we're gonna mark you as present.
And Barb, just for the minutes, is Doug absent with notice?
When did
he said it last meeting? I thought he mentioned something about.
He told me earlier this week that he was out all this week. So.
All right. Well.
Yeah, I didn't get notice that. Oh, I know. Denise Kabish. She's golfing tonight, and she should be joining us in about a half an hour. So she's absent right now. Let's see if we have a quorum. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, we do have a quorum. The next item on the agenda is a call to the public. Do we have any public, Ken?
You're muted.
We do. If there's any members of the public that would like to address the DDA at this time, you can raise your hand and we will call on you. Of the 3 members of the public, no one has raised their hand.
Okay, we'll have another one later.
Yep.
The next item is the minutes from our May 26th meeting. Everyone received a copy of those on May 26th. Any questions or concerns?
I would move approval. I know Jenny's made some minor adjustments, but they're not, there's nothing substantive relative to the thrust of the minutes. So I would move approval of those minutes without reading them.
I'll second that.
Okay, moved by Jack Seacrest, seconded by Kristen Hatfield, to approve the minutes from May 26th and dispense with the reading. Discussion? Those in favor say aye.
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 And those opposed say nay. Financial report, Mr. Seacrest.
Yes, it'll be brief. There have been neither any revenues nor expenditures since last month, so we have the exact same balance of something between $32,000 and $33,000 right now. And of course, we dealt with the budget last month, so I have nothing else unless there are questions.
Is there a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
Moved.
Support.
By Quinto and supported by Ken Dignan. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Mr. Sechrist, library report.
Yes, two things. Number one, update on the electronic sign of the digital sign. It has been ordered. We have sized it to where we're comfortable with the size, and it's on order. Probably be a couple months, my guess is, before it's up and operational. Other thing is on July 15th, which is I don't know what day of the week. Let me look and see. July 15th. Thursday, okay. Thursday, July 15th. From 4:30 to 7 p.m., there's a pop-up library book bike kickoff. Okay, a pop-up library book bike kickoff. It's a fundraiser for the Bookmobile. The library is starting its mobile efforts with a bicycle, and that'll be peopled by various staff from the library, but that's the kickoff and fundraiser, 4:30 to 7 p.m. at the library on July 15th. Those are my two items from the library.
Thank you. The Parks and Rec report was going to be Doug Wilbur, and he's not with us. I don't know if anybody else serve on Parks and Rec. Okay. Supervisors report. Mr. Dignan.
Sure, I'll kind of address a Parks and Rec item as well, because the Board of Trustees met, and we did award a contract to Johnson Hill Land Ethics Studio to be architects and planners for designing the park property. If you get a chance, it's a hefty download of 235 pages, but the packet for yesterday's Board of Trustees meeting does contain their proposal for the work that they would do. We had three amazing candidates, and all three of them were wonderful. It's just these were the folks that the board felt embraced the vision of what they had in store for the designated park area of the property. Outside of that, we do have DDA appointments coming up. We'll talk about that in just a second. Let's see, the township made a decision to post a position for a planning and zoning administrator. So that would be a full-time position, basically our building department official that could review plans in-house and look at things. Larger projects would still go out to a professional planning firm, but this would help to accelerate projects that are of a smaller scale. Let's see. The board also did make a motion last night to have myself send a letter to Livonia Builders and request a offer in writing on the non-park part of the property and a timeline for development if they are still interested. So I am working with Mr. Fink to produce a letter that protects the township, but also invites them to make a financial offer on the area of the park that is not designated for park. I did mention the DDA appointments. That was pulled from the agenda last night. And the reason being is I need to sit down with Barb and with Jennifer and go through the positions on the DDA, really understand, make sure we've got all the terms correct, and make sure that we have all the allocations correct, because there's many different kinds of DDA members, and just make sure that we have what our founding documents require us to have. Because it's not only just businesses, it's residents within the DDA district, it's various representatives from different organizations. So I'd like to get that done, and we will address appointments next month. So that's it. If there's any questions I can answer, I'm happy to do so. We are moving forward also on the township manager front, and July 6th, the township board will be meeting with representative from the Michigan Municipal League, at which time we will undertake the steps of kind of putting together a community profile of our community and discussing the priorities that the township board has for a township manager. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
I have no questions. Just wanted to say that's great news, especially the planning zoning person. I think that's a huge step forward.
I agree. Ms. Forrester?
3 questions.
Sure.
An update on 75 Barker.
Yep.
And an update on timeline still for demolishing those buildings we talked about. And then actually, I forgot my third one, so just 2.
Okay, sure. So 75 Barker, Chef Jay has been in the building several times recently and continues to go down the road. We did discover that the well closest to the building is the active well for the site. That's the one that is just up near the front. It kind of takes up one parking spot. And the way the township's going to address that is we will probably give an easement for that well and make that parking spot one of the green spots, where you have an island in your parking area until such time that the well fails, and then it must be relocated onto the property that is going to be 75 Barker Road, the building. We continue to work on the easement for the asphalt parking area. We're just got some things from legal on that. I know that our applicant, Green Guys Group, or Planted, that's it. Planted is very anxious to get that moving because that's a part of their site plan approval. Let's see. And then you asked me about, what was the other thing? Demolishing the buildings. So Mr. Spiegelberg has 90 days. He did provide the letter. I think we're about halfway through that 90-day period. I'll have to check exactly on the date. But we do intend to hold him to his commitment of 90 days to demolish the 2 houses, the one on Barker and the other up there on North Main. So while I'm talking about that, let me speak briefly to ordinance enforcement. So ordinance enforcement has now cited the gas station at Barker, or at East Shore and Main, a 3rd time with a 2nd financial fine, and are pursuing what we need to do in order to go to court. We're gonna file suit against the owner. There have been more issues with that site, even from our last meeting, most recently with price gouging, of advertising one price on the sign, but the pump's at a different price. So that's become an issue. But Miss King is all over that and really working to try to get this handled. You may have noticed on the north side of town, the Marathon station that's up there across from the marina. It is no longer selling fuel. It's been tagged for we don't know what reason, but I did understand that it changed hands a year ago. the leasee who's leasing it currently from the current owner. It used to be Atlas Oil, but Atlas Oil sold it a year ago to another company. Neither Atlas nor the other company have operated it. They've leased it out, but the operator who's leasing it obviously has not cared for it and has run it down. I'm trying to reach the actual owner of it to have a discussion about it, because clearly that property needs to be invested in significantly. It's in pretty poor condition. So, and as soon as we can find out what's wrong with why they got tagged by the Department of Agriculture, it could be weights and measures. It could be something environmental. We don't know yet. So, right.
No gas at either of those stations.
Well, yeah, it looks like the one at East Shore in Maine just got gas again, but their one pump has been down for the better part of the last 2.5 years. I mean, it's come up and down, but they have grocery bags on it and on one of their pumps, and I don't see them investing in that property at all. But we're gonna force their hand and make them do something with that property. We're also still going after signs, just so you know. We haven't forgotten about that. Pizza House sign, the Sunoco sign down on 6 Mile, the Sunoco old highway structure sign. We are still after that. And if you see stuff, let me know. I'm happy to convey that to Dawn King. We've got to clean up this community. I will say, a kudos out to, you may have noticed we got rid of the donation bin at the over there at the bowling alley. So it was a phone call and a simple matter of fact, we're not going to tolerate you not emptying your bin. If you're not going to come 3 times a week to pick it up, I'm going to put a sign on it that says a scrapper can take it. Guy says, you can't do that. I said, sure I can. I printed the sign off. It's sitting in front of me. I'll go tape it to it Friday morning. And he says, well, don't do that. And that night they came and took it and got it out of there. And what do you know? Less than a week later, the bowling alley cleans up all of the, and I know they've been encouraged, but they've cleaned up the front of their building significantly. They have some structural issue with the outside of their building, though, where signs were, but they've cleaned up the landscaping around it, and they got what looked like an old railroad tie. I think it was just a angled iron, but that was sitting in their parking lot. I think they got that out of there yesterday too. So, as long as people know, we're going to expect that you maintain your property and make it look nice. And each of us who, as business owners, do the same. We're headed down a good road. I'm excited about it.
Barb, may I ask a question, even though I'm not DDA, but I'm...
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm so curious. So, Ken, the Nextel operation now has a flashing open sign. What's going on with that?
So it is Nextel. So I stopped in and talked to Rocco. He is the owner of this Nextel franchise. A real brief story. So Nextel, in the midst of the Sprint buyout and then the T-Mobile buyout of Sprint, and some attorney at Nextel let the trademark lapse. And a guy down in Florida registered the trademark, now owns it. Nextel sued him. Sprint, T-Mobile sued him. They lost. So he has the trademark. He's relaunching Nextel as a global push-to-talk network. The devices they're using are very rugged. They are only push-to-talk. They are not cell phones. But they do use a band in the cell network. But their connection doesn't require the same sort of connection that you and I have to make our phone calls. So it's worth stopping in and seeing him. I addressed his sign that was put up without a permit. He has went and filed his permit and his his compliance zoning compliance, which shouldn't be a problem. It's retail. And Vans was retail. So he'll be able to operate there. And it is in the infancy stage of launching as a global provider of push to talk technology. So it is interesting. And I'll be honest with you, I've talked to I think they're looking to push it to places like schools for their buses, or sites like industrial sites, where, they need something that's more rugged. They need something that's only utilized for what their purpose is. So if it's just push to talk to the people on their site, and it's cheap, it's $20 a month. So very, very interesting and neat. I wouldn't have thought that Whitmore Lake would have been the hub of the launch of the new Nextel, but he lives in Wildwood, in the first subdivision there, on Wildwood. So we welcome Rocco and his family, and hopefully he'll have a lot of success in this venture. But it is brand new.
Well, that was not as simple as I thought it was going to be, but it's still fantastic. And he has an amazing location. So, hey, if they say location, there you go. Yep.
He does have quite a location there. And, we're helping guide him through. He says, hey, I want to make sure I'm doing things the right way. So, but it's interesting. You stop in and just have a conversation with somebody. I figured it'd be easier to do that than have the ordinance enforcement officer go over and talk to him. So, and it went well, real well. So, Dana?
Just to circle back, though, I think it's really interesting, some of the hidden gem businesses that are here. So my husband and I finally went around and planted the flowers the last 2 nights. So hopefully y'all like it. But we met Jim and Janice. Barb, I don't know if they rent from you. Do you own the building with the Loot Card Shop too? Do you own?
No.
Okay. So Jim has, I don't know their last name, but he has an international male fertility testing diagnostic business, and he ships his tests all over the country and all over the world. And I think he's in the building next to the Loot Card Shop, but it's just so interesting that we have these businesses here that I just had no idea. And he lives right on the lake in Whitmore Lake as well.
Good to know, but I think I'm good.
I know, that's what I said.
Very funny. But no, you're absolutely right. And, as these businesses, as we may have noticed also, the township launched its new website. Yay. It's got a much better document management system, but we're also going to launch a business area of the website that's going to identify and list the businesses in our township. So we need that. A business directory is something that is very easy to do, and the township should be doing it anyway. Because we know about we should know about all the businesses in town. But yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Ken.
Yeah.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is a lot of old business. Number one is the bench project that Jack's been trying to keep on top of and having a hard time, but can you tell us the latest, Jack?
Yes. Jackie Otto got in touch with me, and we met actually yesterday at the community center because the bench there is missing a couple of the boards, so it's easy to see what the back looks like that you have to attach the new boards to and so forth. So we went over all of that, and her plan is to paint or repaint all of the benches after appropriate sanding and so forth black. She wants to do them black. So they will be black. Some of them, I don't know how many of them are already black. She has a paint crew lined up, I guess, through Kiwanis to do that job. And she's aware that Doug Wilbur has volunteered to participate in attaching the boards to the benches. And I contacted Doug, and of course copied Barb last week. And he said he's out of town this week, but that he'll connect with me next week and we'll talk about it again. But what Jackie Otto has in mind is a meeting of all of the people that are going to participate in this massive global project of putting boards on 8 benches. So we'll have a meeting of the paint crew and whoever's going to help install the boards sometime probably in the next, I don't know, in the next month, maybe less, I'm not sure. But it is moving forward. She's making sure that it gets done properly. It doesn't have to be rushed. So we're going to try to do it right. And the steps are taking place. And eventually, well, there's a chance we'll have 8 benches with new boards and fresh paint.
Thank you for following through on that. The next item is the banners that we've talked about, that we have the 13 nice holiday banners, but not the hardware to attach them to the poles. And 3 people have given me other contacts to look into because they thought that the $95 per bracket setup from Bronner's might have been high. However, the other setups that the like downtown Ann Arbor has, and the Art Guild, and a couple of other, Dexter, they're on those cute metal light poles that are very nice. Ours are going to be on telephone poles. VTE owns them. So looking into the different options, it looks like we probably ought to go with Bronner's. There are specific brackets made for those banners. And like I said, they're $95 a piece. I'm sure, well, we'll be tax exempt. So, and if we can make arrangements to get them. So my suggestion, if we decide to do this, follow through on it, is to get them from Bronner's, and 13 bracket setups for the banners we have comes to $1,235. Any discussion?
Do we need to do them all at once?
No, it's not that we get a price break on a certain number of them or anything like that. I mean, we could buy 6 of them and put them right at the corner of Main Street and Barker if we wanted to. We still have to get permission from DTE to put them up. And then I have to update our tax exempt status paperwork and the W-9 from the township before they can sell them as tax exempt.
This would be a DDA expense?
Well, I'd be really happy if the township would pick it up, but if it's not the township, it's the DDA. And we don't have to move forward now. We can, think about it. That's, a chunk of our money.
I think it would be great. Let's do some things. If it helps for beautification, I'm for it.
Is it a possibility that the township would maybe cover half of the cost or contribute?
I mean, it can certainly be asked of the board.
Is it likely?
I don't know. I think there might be some hesitation. They've been very willing to help with the legal stuff that we've been doing. And certainly that hasn't been a problem. I don't know. Jack, can you remind me where we're at with DDA fund balance?
We have between $32,000 and $33,000 total.
Yeah, I would think with this expense, it may be in the DDA's best interest to absorb this expense. And if we come into a situation where we're looking and we need $1,200 or $1,300 down the road, I think it would definitely create some goodwill that we absorbed this expense as we went along. You know, it's a visible investment, I think, and I think it's good for it to show that the DDA has made additional visible investments in the town. So that's my thought. I mean, I'm more than happy to take it to the board if you'd like, but I just think that it may benefit us to work through it.
I was just curious, but I think that we're kind of anxious to kind of start putting those up. So why wait?
I have a question, suggestion, just wondering, you know, if we should first get approval from DTE that we can in fact put these up. I think Barb said that we would need approval.
I don't see that being an issue at all. I have the DTE foreman in the area. He's phenomenal. We've worked with him. You know, he did he helped us with the lighting project there at the community center. And I said, if there's ever anything DTE can do to help, and let him know. You know, it's never been an issue in the past either.
Okay. So then potentially my second suggestion was, I think Jack was kind of alluding to this, maybe we get half. And then, because I'm trying to get in contact with organizations with the school to see if they might want to sponsor other banners to go up. And so, you know, to me, it kind of seems like if we have a preview of a banner, and then we might be able to get more people to sign on, which might actually, you know, maybe we could even pay for some of the cost to get the brackets if we're concerned about total cost.
What would be the next banners that could go up that would make sense to go up?
Like Welcome to Whitmore Lake or Home of the Whitmore Lake Trojans. Like that's what I was reaching out to the schools for anyway. So something that angle, but I don't know if we wanted like 4th of July banners, and maybe there's a business in town that would sponsor or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have some fall, you know, if we can get some banners that are fall in nature, you know, we could use those. You know, there's kind of a thing afoot right now to have a heritage gathering this fall, kind of in recognizing the heritage of the farmers. I don't know if that's going to take root and you know, I think fall would be the next season that we would be trying to procure banners for. We have the dimensions and everything that we need, right? We just have to, and maybe talk to woman over there at Little Fish. Come on, Kristen, help me with
Angela.
Angela. Oh, goodness. Sorry, guys.
I was going to give you a minute.
I know, but you know, and talk to her about it and see what she can come up with. But yeah, I mean, half dozen of them to start. Let's see how they work out that way. I mean, I think I would be willing to put forth a motion that we procure 6 bracket sets for our banners.
I'd second that.
Motion by Ken Dignan, supported by Kristen Hatfield, to purchase 6 bracket sets. Discussion on the motion?
Go ahead,
I just
Barb.
don't look like we did anything. You know, if we have like 3 on each side of the road, or, you know, I was worried that 13 would look fiddly. But I mean, we could do it.
I mean,
and in the main areas, like not at Holly's.
maybe we can get Polly's to buy 3.
Sure.
Okay, no comments from the peanut gallery over here. Heck, I'll go in there and ask him. Why not? I don't know. I mean, we're going to have to buy the banners too to go with these, right? I mean,
Well, we have
some.
We have these 13 that are Christmas, winter banners.
Winter holiday banners, right?
Holiday. They don't say Christmas on them, right?
So we don't have any Welcome to Whitmore Lake banners or anything like that. So we'd need to get, to me, those would be the first ones we'd want to do, as Jenny was saying.
Yeah, they have to be really heavy duty banners though. I don't know, there's just something about Main Street being by the lake. The wind is atrocious.
Canvas, huh?
It's like an oilcloth canvas, and the ones that we have were up season after season, and they look brand new. So, I mean, I'm okay with going with 6 if that's what everybody wants to do, and we can make arrangements to go pick them up and find someone to take them down.
I am not opposed to going for all 13. I mean, I'm not.
Yeah.
I thought.
I'm at go big or go home. I would just do it. I mean, we have the money. What's the total cost again, Barb?
$1,300, right?
$1,235.
Yeah, and we have $32,000 or $33,000 in our budget. I think this would be money well spent.
I agree.
So
I will withdraw my motion.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to. Oh, go ahead, Jack.
So you keep saying 13. That's because you have 13 holiday themed banners.
That's all we have is 13 of them.
Okay, but why would we just do
number
13? Are those some of them earlier holidays than December? They're all
winter, snowflakes, that type of thing.
Okay, so the idea. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I didn't get prices on the banners if we wanted to get new ones. They're not cheap.
Well, we're going to need some new banners, that's for sure. But maybe we think about how many banners we want up at a time. I don't know whether 13 is the right number or whether it's 16 or whether it's 8. I don't know, but you want enough brackets to be able to put up a certain number of banners all at once, right? That would be why you'd have multiple of them. So how many would we want at once? 13 late in the year is fine. Maybe we just need some number less than that, or I don't know, maybe we need more, but let's think about the right number before we decide on how many to vote on. What do you think the right number is, Barb?
13. That's what we have. You know, I can get prices on other ones. I know they're not cheap to get a good one.
Looks like they're about $67 a piece, but I don't know if that includes any hardware. I'm looking right now.
It probably doesn't.
Nope, that's a 2-color banner. It's available in 4 different sizes. So it starts at 67 and goes up to basically 100. Depending on what were the dimensions of our current banners?
They're 5 feet, 3 feet by 5 feet or something. They're big.
30 by 60 probably.
Yeah, that's right.
So it'd be $90 a banner.
So if we decide that we'd never want more than 13, then that's the right number we should go after. Is there any other season of the year where we might want more than 13? Probably not. The brackets can be moved from one banner to another. So
yeah, they actually can stay up on the pole if we had new banners to exchange for them.
So that's about 1,200 or 13 more banners of whatever generic.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure that we can invent, we have to see how many other banners we really need.
Yeah, and there might be a design fee associated with that, Ken, you think? They're not going to be stocked if they're going to say Whitmore Lake on them.
What about?
Correct. Those were the ones I was talking about were your standard stock banners. They do custom banners as well that are screen printed.
Might be double the price anyway.
I don't think there'll be that much more, but
well, maybe a thought is to have every other be like a standard that's always up, Whitmore Lake one, and the other ones are ones we switch out for seasons. So half.
And I like that idea. So we still get the 13 brackets, but maybe just because if we're going to get brackets, we should have banners to put up right away is kind of my thought. So perhaps to what you're saying, we buy the 13 brackets. We also invest in 6 Welcome to Whitmore Lake just to get started and have something up right away. And then maybe that's what we use to potentially gain sponsorship from businesses, from the school, other entities in town to get other types of banners that we can circulate. So to Jack's point, we could have 6 that, and this is what you said too, have 6 up that say Welcome to Whitmore Lake and another 7 that are seasonal that rotate.
Well,
so I would then maybe, I think, Ken, do you still have a motion open?
I haven't made one yet.
Withdrew it.
I withdrew my original, but the other nice thing is these FiberFlex mounting brackets that they have there. I mean, the nice thing is once you have them, you can buy parts if you have to buy a part for one, if something goes wrong with it. And it looks like they're pretty well invested in this style and everything that they're doing there at Bronner's with the Bronner's commercial. So, sure, let's get enough to handle what we have today and order banners based on what we're looking for seasons. Obviously, the Whitmore Lake banners, I would imagine, if those are going to be up year round for the most part, you're probably going to replace them every year. You might get a couple that make it through a couple years, but if they're going to be up 12 months out of the year, and then you're rotating the other banners seasonally. But I think what we should look at is, hang on one second. I just feel like we've been killing this subject, and I'd like to be able to put it in motion. So maybe a motion to go. Jack, you got another?
Very quickly, how many banners in theory could be put up?
It depends how far we want to go on Barker Road as well as Main Street. I would say 25 to 30 if we really want to saturate the telephone poles. I haven't quite taken an inventory of the poles lately, but you could really put a lot up, I think.
Okay, but 13 is a good chunk of that, so okay.
Yeah, it would look nice. It wouldn't be sparse, if we kind of concentrate on the center of town here.
Seems like a good place to put our money.
The other thing is, before you make your motion, is that, we're definitely going to have a commitment of somebody or pay to have them put up and then taken down. Our problem is we were getting into February and our Christmas ones were still up, our winter holiday ones.
Well, I will say this. I believe we could lean on 2 local businesses to help with that. I think Mr. Moffitt would help with that. I think Mr. Lamont would help with that. At the same time, in a pinch, it never hurts to have a fire truck out helping and people seeing it. They did that for the 4th of July banner the other day. And
how great would that look? That would be so cool to have them participate.
It's a visibility thing. Right. It's a visibility thing, and it has to be flexible, and obviously probably not the thing you want every single time, but certainly something that the community gets to see. Right. And they're out there. I know that the police and fire love to have opportunities to be out there doing stuff that's, giving back and doing things. So, but yeah, I mean, they're at the football games. Every football game at graduation, they had the fire truck out there and raised the flag up, and those are great moments for them. So, but we also don't want to have to depend on them because they kind of have a primary job. So, but I think to be honest, as I think through this, I would be inclined to put out there a dollar amount not to exceed to procure not only the 13 brackets, but to procure a number of banners so that we don't have to keep revisiting this. Just decide on a few people to figure out a design for the banner and go for it. But I just, you're not buying 13 of the custom banners, right? You're buying, I don't know, what, 6? So if we say they're double, if we say they're double the cost, let's say they're 180 instead of 90. And then you've got, what are we talking about?
$2,500.
Yeah, $2,500 plus the cost of so a dollar amount not to exceed $4,000.
I'm good with that.
All right, I'll make a motion. If everyone's comfortable with that, to procure the bracketry and the banners, 6 custom and 6 seasonal for right now, and a dollar amount not to exceed $4,000.
Support.
Okay, motion by Dignan, support by Iaquinto. Is there further discussion on this? No? Okay, hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed say nay. Good job, you guys. That only took a year.
I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, me too. Ken, we need to get together on a couple things.
Okay.
The next item on the agenda is a TIF update from the attorney, and the latest report today is they will have a final commitment, a final statement for us by our next meeting. They've received everything they need from Mr. Fink. They're still working on the legal issues, and I feel really comfortable that what they end up telling us will be what the law would accept. And so they said it would be definitely by our next DDA meeting.
If that could be a memo, or with that opinion contain a memo to Tom, the assessor.
Okay, good.
Telling him what properties what properties are within what properties are contained within the DDA.
Excluding
and which should be full and which should be half, because there's that differentiator based on new or existing.
And that also would exclude those that are government.
Yeah,
now.
They're figuring that out. I don't know that that's going to happen, but
a lot of the problem is that this is never it was set in stone kind of, and as things have changed over the years, it's never been updated. The assessment and all of the turnover to tax exempt properties and everything, none of it's been changed by our part of it, or the assessor. So, okay, I got that memo to have a memo. So it should be a big discussion item at our next meeting.
Great.
The next item is flowers. Dana, thank you.
Looking good.
Wait, okay, so I procrastinated a little because I was super busy, but it worked out in my favor. Cecilia, the Tractor Supply was sold out of flowers, but Alexander's had these great pots with red, white, and blue flowers for $5 each. So I ended up buying a bunch of those and then some petunias to supplement them. So my total was about $132. And almost every pot is filled except for where the daylilies are. And Ken, there's a bunch of pots near 75 Barker. I don't know. We put flowers in them. And along that, on Barker, I don't know if you want to move them. You talked about putting them at entranceways to other parts of town. And then I mentioned this to Jackie Otto, and she said she might want to use them to line the parade route and put flags in them for the parade, which I said would be great. So a couple things. Who should I submit the receipts to for reimbursement? And moving the pots. Any thoughts on that?
Just get the receipts into, you can drop them off at the township offices to Jennifer. I will make sure she's aware of it and expecting those. And then let me work on where those other pots can be located. As you know, those suckers are not light. So we'd like to move them once. We'd like to get them moved one time. But yeah, and hang on. I got a little. All right. Sorry. The little dog thinks that it's the big dog, and it doesn't work out well. But and ideally we'd like to really get those down Main Street as much as we can. I don't let me see what I can do.
James and I moved a bunch down on Main Street, kind of in front of the stable shop. And, but the construction at Planted kind of made it, we didn't put really much down there. And I don't know, anybody out there, I'll be watering them every week, but if you see that they're drying out or need weeding, feel free to pluck a weed because it'll help, or get out there with a watering can. That would really help. I'm going to try to keep up on it, but if you see them wilting, please help out.
Hey, Dana, did you by chance remove those dead bushes in front of Domino's and
so we planted those 2 pots. Domino's didn't seem to know anything about them, and I don't know who owns those barrels. So James and I removed all the weeds and pine trees and planted those. So they look much, much better. We already got a ton of compliments and smiles.
So Jennifer needs to know this will be a DDA expense for the flowers.
Yep. We'll make sure she does.
Thank you again, Dana. The next item is trunk or treat. And I think we ought to move forward on the plans unless we have another pandemic. I was going to suggest Sunday, October 24th. 1 week before Halloween.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to offer, I don't think we've done a rain date. And so I'm good with the 24th, but just wondering if we should also include a rain date this year of maybe the 30th, like Saturday the 30th or something, or bump it up a week so that we can use a rain date if needed.
Yeah. Sundays have worked out really well for that. It seems like everyone's kind of free for those. We did it 2 weeks before Halloween. Unfortunately, Halloween's on a Sunday.
Yeah.
We can't use that day. The 24th is 1 week before. If we did it the 17th, is that too early for Halloween?
I don't think so. I was toying around with some of my friends one has a paranormal podcast called 222 Paranormal, and they're going to do a talk at the library on ghost hunting and an actual ghost hunt. And we were talking about doing some different Halloween events. Cause I think when we moved here almost 7 years ago, somebody did this whole Frightmore Lake thing. and they tried to.
Suzanne did. Yep.
Oh my God. So I would love to hear more about that, but I think it would be fun. And then this could be a banner thing or Halloween to do a lot of like a month-long Halloween thing. Just various events, working with the library. And then Jenny working with the people who, I loved the idea of the drive-by decorations for Christmas. I think if they did that again for the Halloween decorations would be really fun. So doing some month-long events.
Well, this would have to be publicized well in advance because a lot of the kids come dressed in their costumes. So how many parents are going to be tuned into having their costume available for their children several weeks before Halloween?
So I can't speak for all parents, obviously, but I know that this concept of Frightmore Lake has been floated a few times, and Suzanne at the Fine Arts Academy is 100% all over this. So this has been her vision for years. I think, Jack, to your point, so the schools actually, the parent teacher organization reached out a month ago because they were already starting to think ahead about their calendar of events for the year, hoping that they can bring back events too post-pandemic. And so I know they're already thinking about some things. So it really, again, a well-coordinated effort like Dana is suggesting of like, let's get events, like let's get Frightmore Lake, if that's what we're going to do, like get it out there and just, maybe with the library's new digital sign, maybe we can have a list of events, or we've done this before working with the community center, kind of have different events posted. I do think this is something the town has participated in the past and would again. So to your point about costumes, that's what I wanted to say. I can't recall if it was our school or I just saw it somewhere else, like a costume exchange. I think our school did it where they said, like, if you've got costumes hanging in your closet, like I do, the beginning of October, right? Let's hold an event where parents can just bring old costumes that they want to get rid of, and other parents can purchase them at low cost or free. So we could even do something like that as an event to kick off Frightmore Lake, and then and then people have their costumes.
We just need plenty of publicity early. That's all. We can't do this at the last minute.
Mm-hmm.
And we still, Adam, your husband just messaged me, Jenny. He reminded me about the digital billboard on 23, that they donate space to us as part of their deal with us so we could promote.
We can get usage of that billboard through Tom DeKaiser. I mean, we do it in kind of correlation with the school. So, but I think the first step is you set the date now and start publicizing it tomorrow. I think it would be cool if we had, even if it started off this year with small things, but if we had something going, every Sunday afternoon in October, the 3rd, the 10th, the 17th, the 24th, and then leading up to Halloween, I think that would be spectacular. I'm sure Susan Bloor would be willing to put a lot of blood, sweat, tears, and money into doing something as well. I mean, she always, I know you're right. This has been something she's been excited about. I'm sure we could tie something in with the school to have, some sort of contests or events. I think that it certainly could be something, really cool. It's a matter of deciding on a date and moving forward.
I would be happy to work with a few people to kind of get a calendar set and then get it publicized in various ways.
Yeah, this feels like a community relations thing. If we can,
you're right.
I'm in, and Johnny, can you put me in touch with Susan? Because I think I'm the girl she's been looking for.
Yeah, Suzanne. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
and I'll email you and Anne, and if anybody else is interested in helping, we'll get a thread going offline. But to your point, Barb, I definitely think setting the date Sunday, October 24th. Let's use that, and then our group can decide, if we need a rain date or whatever else, and we'll come back with a proposal for I'm just going to use Suzanne's Frightmore Lake because she's been touting that for a while.
So you don't want to do the 17th then?
I agree. Yeah, I think that is too early for the trunk or treat. If anything, if we were to do a rain date, I would say do it, I don't know, on a Saturday or even Sunday morning, right? Like typically it would still happen Sunday evening. So
sounds good. Yeah, we could do, we've never, like you said, have never done a rain date because we've been lucky. If we set it as the 24th and then set a rain date for the 31st in the morning. I think that'd be too
I will
much.
say it did rain one year and we still had fantastic turnout. So it was just the scramble of moving the
We
location.
just moved it over to the school.
Yeah.
We decide that's where we're going to have it again, though.
Because of the mud.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'd like to have it in the park if we can. Depends upon what state the park was in at that time.
Yes, as long as it hasn't rained, the few days leading up to it, we should be fine. But
we could post it that way if.
Yeah, instead of a rain date, it's just a rain location.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're set with October 24th, and I can't remember what time we used to do, like 2
to 4, wasn't it?
2 to 4.
That was plenty of time. 2 hours was plenty.
Yeah.
Because once we did 3 hours, and that was too much. Okay.
Just an idea. Cross-country fright run, something like that, Instead of a 5K or something, you do but you do it in a cross-country format. So it's going to be not just running around roads, but you're running through the trails and that kind of thing. So it's, just an idea.
Okay, lots of ideas.
You could have like people dressed up along the trail because I know they do runs where they have entertainment along the trail. We could have some fun Halloween stuff along the way.
And then you tap into your high school cross country team to volunteer to help.
Mm-hmm. So one last thing, because again, I think I'm excited to continue this conversation. And I think PTO already set a date for a costume exchange of October 3rd. So I think we're already moving in that direction. But something that might impact us. So my husband, actually, his town does, as a fundraiser, you sponsor a light pole and then you decorate it. And that's what they do for Halloween. So like their entire downtown becomes like a well-decorated Halloween kind of horror because families can get together and say, this is the light post we're going to take and we're going to be in charge of decorating it. It is, I will say, it's really cool to see. I don't know enough about our how the light posts are set up downtown, if that's something we could do, but
that'd be something we would have to get permission from DTE, from Ken or Bart.
No, we used to do that with the corn stalks.
That's right.
Nicole and I used to do that. Who had the yarn shop. I'm not sure she paid for the corn stalks that she brought in. She didn't want to tell me where she got them, but we tied corn stalks. Those alone, but then we added on some like orange ribbons and things like that. But the corn stalks alone were amazing decorations for downtown.
You just schedule it. You just schedule a takedown day the same day you put them up.
All right. Well, I think that our committee can come up with some pretty cool things.
Yeah, I just didn't know if there was any permission we would need to do something like that, or speak with the township to get like a map of like designated areas.
I don't think so.
Designated areas might be a good idea.
Okay, we'll add that to the conversation. But for now, tentative date October 24th for Trunk or Treat, the main event.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. And corn stalks look good to Thanksgiving.
They do.
So it's not just a Halloween. Okay, the next thing, trash receptacles, which we kick around a lot. I was hoping that Doug would be here to talk about Parks and Rec input on that. I think, we have two main things is the purchase price of them and then the maintenance of them.
And the purchase price is I think the heavy obstacle right now.
Yeah, because weren't the ones like the library has something like $400 or $400+?
Oh, I think they're more than, yeah, I think they're more than that.
Because they're metal, yeah.
Yeah, you want to have something substantial.
Have to be heavy.
Yeah, you don't want to be tipped over by a bunch of kids or anything.
Right.
Well, we do have some at our park area.
Yeah, those and between myself and various others, every time there's a little bit of wind, we have to go and pick them all up and put them all back. They're definitely not substantial enough, or they need to be weighted with a sandbag in the bottom of them. So.
Well, is this something the township board has even discussed, or if we research it and get prices and everything and then present it to the township board after we buy the banners?
Yeah, I think you're definitely getting my vibe. That's exactly what I was kind of thinking. You know, you get to that point, but again, too, we you know, I mean, I'm just speaking for myself as one downtown business owner. You know, the maintenance isn't something I'm worried about. I'll empty the trash can every couple days if it needs to be, or every day if it needed to be. But hang on a second, guys.
Isn't this a Parks and Rec expense for the trash receptacles?
Sorry. I apologize for that. Anyway, it's all good. You know, so it yeah, I mean, we just have to, the thing is we have to decide on the design and what we're going to go with. And
if you look at that downtown synthesis plan, though, you guys have stuff picked out. There's pictures of benches and trash receptacles. I think it's kind of already done. They're just really expensive.
Yeah, I think they're like $1,400 a piece.
Yeah.
Which is what they are. I mean, that's what they cost.
It's the cost. They'll last forever.
It does not surprise me one bit. That is the cost of what we're talking about, is about a $1,500 trash receptacle. So 13 banners or one trash receptacle. Or, you know, I mean, it's, but again, you know, the trash receptacle again is something that's needed. I can tell you from picking up needed. I don't know if we'll be able to train people to use it, to be honest, but we certainly do have a need in downtown.
So to Barb's point, can we put together a proposal? Can we get a few people to work on putting together a proposal, even that we can review and then potentially present to the board?
Yeah, should we have a little subcommittee? Okay.
Sure.
I nominate Jack. He did so well with the benches.
And Doug. Nominate Doug.
Well, Jack has some insight as to where the library got theirs too. I think Jack would be wonderful.
Boy, Jack, they're buttering you up there.
I really? I didn't realize that.
It happens so often.
What would be who would be on this subcommittee?
Doug, you and Doug?
I'm sure Doug would help.
Okay.
Just to get prices and a proposal that we then would present to the township board.
Are you guys just talking about the garbage cans?
Yep.
I think we could do this faster. I mean, I could look up the strategic plan and find the same garbage can and send you guys a link. If you want to.
I think you did that. Let me see.
Make it go. I don't know that I found the exact garbage can, but I bet I could get pretty darn close.
Send it to me then. That'd be fine.
Okay.
Oh, I nominate Kristen and Jack.
So
We'll just keep it
plus
simple.
Kristen, Doug, and I.
I will find a link. I'll look up the strategic plan again, familiarize myself with what that looks like in the plan, and I'll send you guys a link for the closest one I can find, a couple options, and
I'll volunteer to present it to the township board.
How many? We need to figure out how many we need.
Well, you have one at the library. I think that covers that area pretty well. And we definitely need something at Main and Barker that'd be on Ken's side of the street, not Polly's side of the street, I think. What do you think?
Yes. That's for sure. And Polly has their own trash cans out.
What about the park area?
I think the park area and then Main Street and Margaret.
One under the bridge.
Yeah, you do need one under the bridge.
Under the bridge.
That's the one that's probably going to have to be emptied daily.
Yeah.
And is there one in North Village already?
They're the ones that tip over all the time.
Well, they need a garbage over there. You know, people are using the park.
That's the park area, and I presume we'd probably want two there anyway.
Yeah, there's two of that substantial size would be fine. I think there's 3 small ones there right now.
Yeah. So we're up to 5. Maybe we price a half a dozen of them.
Yeah.
Well, good news. Just a quick Google search. I found a couple options and not as expensive as we were thinking. There's one that looks very similar to the one that's in the strategic plan, and it's a bargain at $775, and it's black. I'll send. Sorry.
Do they say how much they weigh or?
This one weighs 125 pounds. It's 35.5 gallons, and it's made of steel. But I'm gonna keep searching to make sure it's
sounds good.
What we need.
Yeah, and remember the township may not spend money on North Village with us going for that DNR grant right now, but I think that it's important to move forward with the waste containers outside of North Village, regardless. So, with the North Village, with the park design, with all of that coming into play, they're looking to really try to leverage grant dollars as much as we can there.
So what review the timing, Barb, but you want us to bring some kind of proposal back to the DDA next meeting? Okay.
I think so. And then we can work on a letter to the town, a proposal to the township.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for volunteering, Jack.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
And Kristen.
Okay, Kristen.
You're welcome.
And Doug.
Or Doug.
I will thank Doug for sure.
The next item is the sign roping that Anna Quinto looked into.
Yes. Well, my husband was gracious enough to kind of run around and get some good measurements, but he basically said if you redid the ropes on all 3 signs in town, it would be about 300 feet or 300 feet of spool of rope. He broke it down in measurements. I don't know if you really care to know all that little detail, but in a nutshell, about 300 feet of rope to replace it all.
What does the rope cost of the size that we need per foot or per however much?
That's a good question. Let me see if he could answer that quickly.
Probably going to be a couple dollars a foot at least, I would imagine.
Probably.
I mean, chain, if you get heavy duty chain, it's $5 a foot. Should be less than that, I would think.
I would think so. Yeah. He didn't write down, but let me see if I can get him to come up here and answer this question. Sam? Okay.
Hey, Doug, or Ken, while she's checking into that, do we have any questions and answers we need to address?
I'm sorry, say any what?
Anything from the public at this point that we need to address while Ann is checking into that?
Let me see. Hang on. Members of the public. Is there anyone from the public that would like to address us at this time? I did see there's 4 comments in regards to
Our strategic plan.
yeah, comments on that. Yeah, and then just the Parks and Rec spent money on flowers for North Village. That's going in right now. Hope it lasts through the 4th of July. Little concerned about that, but
Anyway, he doesn't know how much the rope costs because that's not something that he carries, but he said he could probably order it. So if you want, we can look into how much comes on a spool or how much we would need to order.
I mean, just a quick, I mean, I don't know if that was 2-inch diameter rope or if it was 1 1/4 inch.
Probably closer to 2-inch.
Yeah, at least 2 to 3 inch. It's really a very large rope.
And it's held up for 20 years. Well, not quite 20 years, but quite a few years.
So we can ask Sam to come back with a cost for us to consider.
Yeah, we can do that.
And that would be great if you would do that for us. Thank you.
Yep.
We're good at volunteering other people, aren't we?
We are. Way to do it.
Thank you. And then Ken already asked if there was any member of the public that wanted to address us. Didn't get anything.
And we do have 1 individual. So.
Good evening, Adam Only, Whitmore Lake resident. I was wondering if we could get the tables at North Village moved so that we can actually use them. I was there the other day with my kids, and all the tables are just lined the trees by the post office drive kind of there, and they're too heavy to move. So, and also once the benches get done, I was wondering if we could maybe have like a bench sitting party celebration since it's been about 5 years in the making. So that's all. Have a good evening.
All right. Thank you.
I'll buy the champagne. You can smash it on the benches.
There you go. Yeah.
The tables got moved for lawn mowing, right? And
I know they got moved for the winter.
Yep, the winter.
Yep. And I mean, understand it's 100% volunteer Parks and Rec board. And, you know, it's those kind of things are the things that we often take for granted that they, you know, the only way they get moved is volunteers moving them back and forth. We do.
Where do we know where we would move them to?
Well, I think there were a couple that were lakefront. There were a couple, you know, like over on the other side. And then they were, I think there was 1 or 2 back by the tree line that was there. And, you know, I know there is another one over on the southwest corner there behind the dentist's office and Peaberry and Marcos that folks sometimes use back there. That's already back there though. That one hasn't moved, but you know, but yeah, I mean, I think the ones back by the tree line were for shade, but yet, you know, able to see the water and such. And, but
well, we probably need a forklift or something like that to move them expeditiously, I guess.
They're pretty heavy, but 2 or 3 guys can move them.
we moved them trunk or treat.
Yeah, I know.
To Jennifer on Parks and Rec. She told me they were moved under there because people were taking him out on the ice during the winter, and they were worried about them being lost on the ice because people were likely to not bring them back in. So they put him down the tree line, and apparently no one has moved them since then. But that's what she told me the other day.
One of them is chained too, and that's like the only one that's light enough to like move is chained.
Right.
Well, Doug is our Parks and Rec guy. I mean, if he can come up with some sort of plan, I'll volunteer to help with if they need help to move them. So,
Ken, do you think the fire department might be willing to help move them? Off their muscles and everything,
Yeah. I'm not sure. We can ask. We can certainly ask. But, this does lead to a discussion that must take place that, folks on these boards, including the DDA and the Parks and Rec and stuff, they're 100% volunteers. And, yes, you're designed to establish a vision, a mission, and a budget, and doesn't necessarily mean that, it means you do everything, all the work, right? I mean, we are all willing to help and volunteer and do some work, but this is an issue that's going to come to a head as we start developing more community assets and things for the community to use in our community, so.
I'm sure Tim Seville will be willing to volunteer as well. I'm sure I can volunteer him as well.
I'm sure you can volunteer. Tim helps out a tremendous amount down there. So.
Okay, so that's a good point. We should get them moved, and if there are flowers there, correct? That we could maybe put a table or two by flowers.
Yeah,
So
there's something planted down there. I don't know exactly what, but there's something planted down there now.
So unless we decide exactly what's going to happen and how it's going to happen, we'll be talking about this again next month and nothing will have happened. So what do we put together to actually put this into motion?
Do you want me to contact Tim and ask him if he can get a group of people together, or?
That'd be okay. And as long as we know where we're going to put them, we're going to put 2 across the road near the lake, I guess. And I don't know where the others would go, but
2 across by the lake, 2 back by the tree line.
Shouldn't Parks and Rec be consulted about where they go? Because Jennifer has been doing all of that planting down there. And when I went over and talked to her about it, she said that these plants were very specific, and she had all this information about filtration and blah, 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 et cetera, and how valuable those plants were actually to the lake, et cetera, and to that land mass there between the road and the lake. And it would seem like it would be prudent to consult with them rather than just moving them, wouldn't it?
Because Tim has been on Parks and Rec. Is he still on or not?
Yeah.
Or, Jennifer, the president, DeLaurel, she could also be contacted too.
Jennifer Delisle?
This. Yeah.
Well, since the parks since the benches are at the park, I feel like it's Parks and Rec's job then to actually move the benches. So maybe we just tell them that this is a problem in the community and that they need to be the ones to handle it. So is that just an email to Jennifer? I don't know her.
Do we know who moved them in the first place?
She told me it sounded like Parks and Rec from the conversation she had with me, because she went into quite a story about the ice fishing event that took place and people starting to pull tables out.
These are the red and white tables we're talking about?
I believe they were the red and white ones. Yeah.
Tim Seville got those for us at a low price.
From Costco.
Yeah, they were very nice tables. Unfortunately, not all of them are there, but that's another.
Okay. So
they're all on the park property.
We need to consult Parks and Rec.
Yep.
So we start with Jennifer, I guess. So who's going to connect with Jennifer to suggest that they be put in more user-friendly positions for the warm weather.
Well, if you want, I can talk to her. She's often down there working on the plants, and she and I've already had conversations about this. If you'd like to, I'd follow up on it.
I feel like an email, or something written, would be better, just for formal communication. Do you have her email?
I don't.
It's on the website. It's on the
not sure
website.
The importance of the email itself, but if that's what you think is really much more important than a personal conversation.
I think it should be both. I think it should be both, Denise.
Okay.
More of just a timestamp, I guess, so that we know when the conversation happened and when there's action, really. But okay, so Denise, you're in charge of this?
Sure.
Got it. Okay. The next item is call to the public. Any public like to ask us a question or speak?
No, I don't see any other members of the public at this time that have raised their hand.
Okay, board member comments. Denise, you're up first.
You're on mute.
I'm not now. I'm okay. I noticed that, thank you, Dana, for removing those dead plants in front of the buildings. It's a great idea. And your work with the flowers, that's terrific too. It always makes downtown look more beautiful, or at least beautiful. I did notice that the new webpage has started, or the new Northfield Township website has come up. Very nice looking site. The only concern I have about it is very difficult to find events. And it was purely by accident that I found it. I'd like to make a suggestion that be one of the top menu items, since that's really important and since 4th of July is coming up. And that was the reason that I actually went out there to find, just all the timelines and be able to give that URL to my family and friends so that they could participate in the 4th of July events. And that's really my only comment. Other than that,
unfortunately, the 4th of July events, quote unquote, are not coordinated by the township, and they are not coordinated by one entity. And there was no schedule or collection of those events in one place. And none of that was communicated to the township staff to update that. So, and actually the data that was on the website was, it did say red, white, and blue color run, which it's not a color run anymore, which I did think, they fixed that. But, unfortunately, when it's a disjointed effort, although a valor effort by many, but there's no central coordination, we can only put out the information that is provided to us. All events are on the main page. You don't even have to go anywhere. If you just go to the township's main page, on the right-hand side, just below the graphic, is the calendar of events. And any and all events the township's been made aware of are published there.
I must have completely missed that because I never saw that. So that's unusual. But even if it is in a different location and it's Brighton or Livingston Township that's managing that because it falls under Whitmore Lake, blah, 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 we could put a link to that location of those events. But
if we knew what they were, the problem with 4th of July is the 3 events that are going on, 2 of them have very little or no information anywhere on the web. Nothing.
I don't know. I saw them just the other day because that's how I was able to tell people about it. So maybe they've updated them a little better.
Well, they might have, because this became an issue last week.
Because
it was told, we'd love to promote your event, but if you don't promote it yourself or put it out there, we can't share it. So, I mean, it was literally a conversation last week. So maybe this week the information has been put up there, but it was, and like I said, I don't want to discount any of the efforts of the volunteers. They've been phenomenal, but when it's an uncoordinated series of events, I'll be honest, Jennifer doesn't have time to track those things down as really, especially with us being down township manager. She's part-time, and she puts in a tremendous effort, but she doesn't have time to track down events. If people get them to her, she posts them. So if you see them, it doesn't have to be the coordinator of the event. If you see an event, drop an email to her and we'll be happy to put it out there if it's a community event.
Thank you.
I'll send you the screenshot of the information that I saw.
Okay. Ann Iaquinto? Oh, I'm sorry, Denise. Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, Ann?
Hello. So yeah, I'm happy to see some of these items that we've been looking at for a long time moving along, like the banners and benches. So yay for that. I'll get a quote for a cost for the rope. And sorry if I was supposed to do that. I think we were just interested in how much rope we had, I thought. But looking forward to putting together a calendar of October events, which will be fun. I know one year there was a competition to have a broom, decorate a broom and put it on your front door or outside your front door. So, some fun things like that. So I think this great little group we have will come up with some fun things and get it publicized and out to the school district and that as well. So anyway, but that's it for me.
Thank you. Dana Forrester?
I don't really have anything. I second what Ann says. I'm happy to see the progress. Ken, it's awesome. You're getting things done. And I just think we have a great group of people here. And yeah, things are moving forward. It's exciting. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Jenny Olney.
I echo what's been said. Thank you all.
Such a tough group to get along with. Jack Seacrest.
Well, first, kudos to Dana and James for the efforts with the flowers, et cetera. Really much appreciated. I know it's easy to wave it away, but it's a fair amount of work and we appreciate it. Only other thing I would say is it's great to hear, as usual, everybody's ideas, their suggestions, and pushing us in the right directions.
Thank you. Kristen.
Hey, garbage cans were just sent out. I don't have everybody's email, so I just responded to the one that Jennifer Carlisle sent out. There's a range of 3 that go from almost $800 to $1,300, but look very similar to what's in the strategic plan. And just wanted to say thanks again to Ken for getting rid of that donation bin. I spent a lot of time walking through town and it was giving me fits. So thank you.
How are you doing, Kristen?
I'm exhausted, but I'm good. I have a very good, unfussy baby. Things are good. I'm just getting used to not sleeping.
Yeah, you become numb to that eventually.
We're getting there.
Ken Dignan.
The only thing I want to say is please reach out and commend the township board members that I serve with. It is really the will of this township board to improve things in this town that's making it possible to do that. It's not easy to be there and say, yes, I want our ordinance enforcement officer to enforce our ordinance. Yes, I'm going to tell a business that we need them to step up and clean up their property. It takes a lot of will. And fortunately, the current township board has been unwavering in supporting that and understanding that that is our future here in this township. And I would just encourage you, if you haven't had a chance, to reach out to other board members and tell them how much you appreciate that, because it really allows me to do what I do and allows Dawn King, our ordinance enforcement officer, to do what she does. And for those that are out there to understand that we're serious. So please share that sentiment with other board members. We're all working hard to try to make it a better place. So thank you.
Thank you, Ken. Cecilia, are you still with us?
I am. So I hope this is not a wild card, but I drove through a turnabout the other day that had flyers drawing people into town. I don't know. It might be something worth thinking about, but I know our budget is tight, but it shouldn't be that tight. It matters to get us into town. They're the kind that stand up tall on a pole like a long flag. But anyway, so that's basically for you, Barb, as chair, and you, Jack, holding all that money. You can decide. That's it.
Tell me a little more about that, what you were talking about. I'm not sure I understand.
So they're almost like feather flyers. So when you come into the roundabout, there are either 2 or 4, depending on how many exits off that roundabout there are, that say, welcome to, or what was the other one? It was a food thing. I can't remember. And it just gets people off the highway going into town. And I don't know, they might be a Department of Transportation issue. I don't know, maybe Ken would know this, but if there's a way to post them in the interior, I don't know, they were very effective. I thought I liked them. But if they're really expensive, forget about it.
I know what you're talking about. They almost look like the I know this is going to sound really bizarre, but if you go into Metro Airport, there's these wind turbines like flying, like they spin around really fast. They actually use them to generate electricity there, but you'll see them as you go into Metro Airport, and they're kind of like a flag that, but it does spin around, and it does have. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't.
And it's a long flag. I mean, but these were just singular. They're not spinning. It's not like art. Okay. But they were very much advertisement. But they were so simple, and they were placed, I thought, in the perfect place, which is get off and follow this flag down that road.
Well, we'll see what. I'll dig a little bit more into that. Do you recall where you were when you saw those?
No, I was delivering honey in Detroit. So now I really don't know. It was one of those suburb areas.
Okay. All right. I'm okay. Yeah. Maybe we'll just go for a ride, see what we can find. But no, I love that idea if we can.
Thank you. And I don't have anything to add. The next item is our next meeting, which is, I can't believe, July 28th. Just let me know if you're unable to attend. So far, we've been really good with the quorum. And it will be a Zoom meeting again. And the last thing is there a motion?
Actually, Barb, I wanted to, the township board has voted unanimously to go back to in-person meetings as of July 1.
Oh.
Entirely. So it's not a hybrid meeting. It's an in-person meeting as of July 1. So you're welcome to do that if this board feels that that's what they would like to do.
Any thoughts on that, anybody?
Does it need to be live streamed?
It will be, well, if it,
because ours never were previously.
No, it does not have to be.
Okay.
But the board is going to have theirs live streamed, of course, but and the planning commission and such. But no, it just
we don't have to offer like a hybrid option or any sort of virtual option. It's just okay.
The law states you must have it. It must be in person and open to the public. So, but the board is also returning staff to full hours in office July 1. So I think it's important that we start meeting in person. Obviously, our board felt that it was important. At this time, the board has not rescinded its action, but I expect it to do that at our next meeting. But we did vote to return to in-person meetings. So that's certainly at the prerogative of this board if this board chooses to do the same.
Would we need to rescind our action tonight then, in order to?
No, the effective rescinding of that action is a vote to move to in-person meetings.
Well, is there a motion to have an in-person meeting July 28th?
I'll make a motion to meet in person July 28th and moving forward, or until such time that the state determines that that is not no longer effective, or until the state issues a directive otherwise.
Okay. Is there support? Support by Iaquinto. Motion by Dignan, support by Iaquinto to meet in person July 28th and moving forward unless told otherwise by the state of Michigan. Discussion? Those in favor say aye.
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 And those opposed say nay.
One nay.
Okay. Good. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Actually, Dr. Griffith, since we did take action prior to the call to the public, we took action after that. Can we have one more call to the public?
Sure can. Sorry.
Okay. No, just I'd like to respect that. Go ahead, Mr. Olney.
Yes, Mr. Olney again. This happens.
Oh, sorry. I don't know what happened there. Hang on. I think I tried to lower his hand and instead you there?
Yep.
Sorry. My bad.
This happens at board meetings and it's frustrating. Non-agenda items, getting motions, things happening after call to public. Yeah, you open back up to call the public, but things like this should be on the agenda. Last night at the board meeting, there was no agenda item about contacting Livonia Builders. Maybe people wanted to know that. And it just gets a motion and gets passed with nobody being aware of it. So these things need to be agenda items. Things that are getting voted on should be agenda items. We had an agenda item for trash cans, but we don't have an agenda item to move meetings back in person. It seems kind of silly. So whether the ball was dropped on that or not, it should be handled in the proper way and it should be an agenda item on the next meeting. Have a good night.
Thank you, Mr. Olney.
Say, the agenda was set a week ago.
Yeah, and just a point of clarification, any board member of any of these boards has a right to bring forth an item at any time during a meeting for consideration, and the board has the right to take action at any time during a meeting on any item presented before it. All it needs is a quorum present and a majority of the members voting in favor.
Okay. Anybody have anything else? None. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Moved by Dignan, supported by
Iaquinto.
Okay. Those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed say nay. Good night, everybody.
Night.
Aye.
See you next
Good
month.
night.